Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to discuss a very beautiful summer freshie from the house of Guerlain, and that is Herba Fresca. Herba Fresca is a beautiful minty green tea, lily of the valley fragrance that nobody's really kind of like speaking about, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fragrance. The creators of this fragrance is Paul Guerlain and Mathilde Laurent, and it's one of the most beautiful and one of the original ones in the series of Aqua Allegoria from Guerlain. That is a beautiful series that knew its up and downs throughout the years, but nonetheless contains a lot of beautiful fragrances that are just fresh and kind of like just synthesize the ingredient they decide to put in the center. But anyway, Herba Fresca is really a beautiful tea fragrance, and it succeeds where a lot of other perfumes kind of like failed. And what I mean by that it doesn't kind of like, when it dries down, it doesn't kind of like linger into known tropes of being synthetic and boring. In fact, in the beginning, when you spray it, it smells like very, very, very juicy, kind of like citrus and lemon and mint. And this kind of like synthesization of mint and juicy rind of citrus is what like opens it up to a very, very beautiful beginning. It feels very, very much fresh. It gives you kind of like also this effect of basil, even though it does not contain any kind of basil in the note, but it gives you kind of like this juicy, beautiful rind, citrus, or maybe even mandarin lemon that you kind of like squeeze, or like you scratch the peel with fresh mint. And mint, if anybody of you visited the Mediterranean and knows that usually in the summer, a lot of drinks are containing mint and lemons and ice and maybe fennel, and it's very, very, very refreshing and very juicy and kind of like very invigorating for your mouth. And this is exactly what this fragrance is doing. It also contains green tea, and I think it's one of the most beautiful kind of fragrances that contain green tea without drying down into a bitter mess. And by that I mean that there's a lot of tea fragrances today, or a lot of fragrances that are tried to be like tea fragrances, but then they just open up for the first 5 minutes with tea accord, and then it kind of like disappears to oblivion. Even though if you think of kind of like maybe what I consider, except Herba Fresca, is like one of the best tea fragrances out there that are really comforting and really good level, that is Oolong Cha X from Nishane, this perfume house from Istanbul, from Turkey, and the creator behind it is Julien Resquinet. And it's a beautiful tea fragrance that kind of reminds me of Herba Fresca. But Herba Fresca, where Oolong Cha X goes kind of like more hum and powdery, stays very zingy and refreshing even when it dries down. It does dry down into a very beautiful lily of the valley, kind of like a white musk kind of thing, but it never really loses the zinginess of the mint and a little bit of the juiciness, or the dust of the juiciness of the citruses. And that's why it's such a beautiful composition that not a lot of people talk about. And in fact, it is one of the best in the Aqua Allegoria series. It's very refreshing, very juicy, very green, very happy. It's very summery, and it's one of the best that I think came out from the hands of Paul Guerlain. It's still being sold, and not a lot of people are talking about it. So if you want something for the summer that is really refreshing, and it's for men, for women, in between, who cares? It's just a very beautiful, refreshing experience, as if you just, I would describe it if you just like took a dive into, I don't know, a pool or the sea or a pond, and you came out and your skin is still wet, and you know there's like kind of like herbs and vegetations around you, and this nice wind that cools you off on a summer day. And that's usually where you get those scent experiences when you're in nature and you're going to the beach or you're going to a pond or a lake or whatever in the summer, and you have vegetation around you of different kinds that kind of like mixes together in the air with your skin scent, with what you washed your hair, with your sunscreen and everything. So it gives you this like really optimistic summer feeling to you, as if, you know, this is exactly the moment why life is so worth it. And this fragrance is so worth it for the summer, and maybe not even for the summer, but it's full of life and it's absolutely beautiful. This was my review of Herba Fresca by Guerlain from the Aqua Allegoria series. If you like it, please like this video and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you soon. Bye!